So this broke during our show, and then, the show gets over, and so we're able to get more information or maybe to read about it. And I'm really just genuinely curious. Do you think the Milwaukee Bucks will regret what they did yesterday to Dame? Not in the karma. How dare you do that? I saw a lot of that takeaway. My buddy was like, man, loyalty's dead in sports. And I'm like, he's going to get paid $122 million.
He is
never play.
He's thrilled. He gets to go home, rehab in Portland, and sign as a free agent wherever he wants to go a year
Legitimately,
from
the math is he will make $120 million, and he will not play in the span in which he makes $120 million. Sign me up, Bob.
Not to mention the fact that every offseason going forward, we will have trade conversations around Giannis. Every offseason.
So that's what I want to know is, so they have the $22 million per year until 2030.
Mm-hmm.
And all of their moves are largely just running it back, but add Miles Turner to it.
That was their big swing.
And they don't control any of their draft, most of their draft.
Yeah, most
picks.
of their draft stuff is out. I was reading some reaction to it yesterday, and it was funny because it was a bunch of people saying, what the hell are they doing? One exec called it reckless.
Yeah.
Another exec basically categorized it as the most desperate move, said, I would only do that move if I was sitting in a boardroom saying, I got to do something. I'm doing something right now because I have no other answers for what to do.
I mean, that's a pretty fair assessment. It unquestionably is reckless, but I also have no problem with it because you are in a position where you have a generational star, one of the greatest players we've seen in the NBA over the last 25 years, a multi-time MVP and an NBA champion in Giannis. His days likely are numbered in a Bucks uniform, and so you don't have a lot of options at this point. And the fail-safe that they have waiting for them at the end of this tunnel or the crap pipe that they have to crawl out of like Shawshank Redemption is that what's going to happen next offseason, let's say it doesn't go great this year, which I wouldn't be surprised by, although the East is wide open. Mm-hmm. They have another early postseason next year. And Giannis, at that point, says, I'm one out. What kind of package is Giannis going to get traded for?
Oh, they'll get stuff for him in return.
You're going to recoup and you're going to rebuild. You're going to suck when he leaves no matter what.
Still going to have the $22 million per year on
for
their
a couple
cap.
of more years. You're going to suck for a couple of years anyways because you're Milwaukee and you're going to go back to being Milwaukee and you're probably going to tank for a couple of years unless you get a miracle trade. So I look at it, I understand all the criticism of it from a national standpoint. If I were a Bucks fan, I would at least be appreciative of the fact that they are trying something. Lillard's not going to play this year. Even when he comes back, you don't know how good he's going to be.
Right.
The cap hold for 5 years sucks. $22 million isn't great. They found a way to get Miles Turner, who was a good player on an NBA Finals team this year, has been a really good big in the NBA for 10 years. Like, they don't have a lot of options to improve the team because they don't have a lot of assets to play with. And so this was one of their few options. They took a risk. Is it going to pay off? Probably not. I wouldn't gamble on it, but they're going down swinging with the star player.
Yeah, I don't want to see, and reportedly, it came out yesterday afternoon that, Giannis is still mulling over, and
he might still demand a trade this offseason.
It might not. Yeah, it might come out of left field where he just says one day, we're running it back, but we're just adding Miles Turner. Now, the reporting on this was interesting, I thought. I'm always interested in this stuff as a media member.
There were several different angles.
Oh, boy.
Provided.
It was all over the map yesterday.
You had Giannis is mad, but then you had countering reporting to that report that Giannis was elated and excited to play with Miles Turner.
He likes Miles Turner. He's wanted to team up with him for a while.
But then you had the same person that said Giannis was mad say Dame Lillard had no idea this was happening. He was caught off guard and couldn't believe it.
And then it was that
that he was really happy that this happened.
I think there's I think there is genuine disappointment.
I think there's one guy that's clearly putting out a message that the players want him to put out, and I think the rest of the people are sourcing and reporting from multiple angles.
I think everybody in that organization is
how a lot of this stuff works now.
Well, specifically Dame
reporting
Lillard,
what people want you to report. That's how a lot of insider reporting works.
Yes,
say what I want you to say.
It is, but there's a lot of people that have insider sourcing access. The person specifically that had some of the early intel actually made his bones based on having a relationship with Dame and has a family tie-in to Giannis.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit of a connection there.
And that was the only report that came out that made this sound negative in any way from both angles. And all the other reporting was, no, we're good.
Yeah. And then it was the follow-up that he approached them about wanting to rehab all of next year or all of the offseason or whatever it was in Portland with his kids. And then Milwaukee wasn't happy about that.
Which is just like, that just
wanted him there.
feels like something you want to put out to make yourself look, I don't know. It's such a tough racket to be an insider.
Yes, it is.
But I didn't think yesterday was very good from specifically that insider.
No, it doesn't seem like he's had a great offseason either. I think he's whiffed on a handful of things so far. So it hasn't been a great run for him over the last handful of days, and yesterday was a culmination. In that, this is a move that shouldn't upset Damian Lillard at all.
What person in the Bucks, by the way, cares if he's in Milwaukee or Portland working out and rehabbing?
Right. You know that he's going to rehab. You know he wants to come back.
You found one person in the organization that probably doesn't matter that says, oh, I don't know about that, and then you ran with that story.
Is this going to be a stabbing in the back, too, if Giannis ends up demanding a trade in 6 weeks? Then Dame's out of Milwaukee. It doesn't have to be the one guy who's like, "Hey, I'm the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, standing in an empty house. There's nobody else here." I think if I were Lillard, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. I'd be thrilled about this because I don't know what the future of that organization is. I don't know how long Giannis is going to be around. He maybe has intel more than anybody else because of their relationship and being teammates, and the fact that he now gets all of his money spread out. He's going to get every single penny of that contract, and he gets to be a free agent and go sign wherever he wants in a year.
Yeah.
Like that is a home run scenario for him from the torn Achilles.
Might go to Miami now.
He might go to Miami. He might sign at home and go Oakland. Yeah, I'll bring him home to Portland, baby. We need more under 6'2" guards. Like he gets to choose wherever he wants to go.
It was terrifying how quick we all got into that.
Everybody jumped on that train yesterday.
Now, definitely not going to happen. At least doesn't line up for what they're currently doing.
Not right now.
Well, what they're doing doesn't make a lot of sense because we do have some vets.
But
we got Drew Holiday as the mentor. Why not Dame as the mentor? Huh? Bring him home.
Two guard mentors.
We need more guard mentors. That's a hell of a backup backcourt. Dame and Drew Holiday coming off the bench. What do you think?
In 2 years.
In 2 years. Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I wonder if they'll end up if he does ask out after this season. Having that $22 million for the next 3 years on your books is just brutal.
Yeah, look, it's not great. I totally understand that point. My argument would be, what are they going to do in the next 3 years, sans Giannis anyways?
I mean, their whole roster building idea is pretty stupid.
They still have Doc Rivers as their head coach.
I also had that takeaway. I'm like, Doc is still their coach. What are they doing?
Somehow he still has a job. I don't understand.
I want Giannis to stay there, but I also look at that and I go, how the hell do you stay with this organization?
I don't get it.
They have just fumbled everything since you won a championship.
And they're desperately trying to save their relationship at this point by doing anything and everything possible to give them a chance to win. Maybe next year in the East, because it's so open and everybody's hurt, like maybe Milwaukee does go. Maybe they shock us. Maybe Giannis carries them to an Eastern Conference Finals next year.
Yeah.
But I'd be pretty surprised if that happened.
It reeks of the guy super desperate to keep the hot girlfriend who's no longer interested after 2 weeks.
For sure does.
You want a Coach purse?
Constantly
Gucci?
Constantly texting and buying things.
Dude, did you give her your credit card? Yeah, man. She's really into me.
She loves me, man.
I don't know, dude. She was at the bar last night. It's all right. Geez.
She's flirting with other guys right now. I don't know if it's going to work out well for you long term.
Stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah, the cap hold is not going to be great. But you trade Giannis, you're going to tank for 2-3 years anyways after he's gone. And so you're totally resetting. What's $22 million against your cap for a bad team that wants a high draft pick anyways?